Este es un podcast de 3650.
Podcastination.
The podcast.
Hello and welcome to Podcastination. It's in English now. Surprise. I bet I'm gonna record some kind of introduction so that people don't accidentally think it's gonna be in Spanish. Welcome to Podcastination. It's Maniak's podcast. So right now it's Maniak, a Butchershop Company's podcast, which is great. And actually, this episode right here is to tell you guys all about how this happened. But first of all, please let me thank you for listening and thank you for following us in our social media. So that's Instagram as the Maniacs. I think we're still the Maniacs. Maybe in the future we'll be
until someone takes that from us.
At the Maniacs, Butchershop Company or something. It's gonna be a long ass username. And also our production house 3650, that's 36, then 50 with letters. I'm not gonna spell it because today's show is kind of short. We got a hard out, and we got a very special guest. We got 4 guests actually. 3 of them are
not special.
They're usual guests of the show.
And one is cool.
And we have a very special guest. Well, I will introduce him after everybody else because he's just that special. And first of all, we got Christian Domínguez. What's up, Christian Domínguez?
What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
All good.
You're good?
Thanks.
Christian Domínguez.
Thanks for the invite.
What's your new position?
I don't know.
Okay, so position X.
I mean, we need to explain that through
Okay, we will in due
as
time.
we go.
Then we got Carlos Domínguez. What's happening?
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm good, man.
Great.
You're good. Okay, cool. Carlos is also. All of these people are in other podcasts except our guest. And then we got Hector García. What's happening?
What's up?
Not much.
What's up?
You good? You merging?
I'm merged.
You merging?
I'm merged.
Cool.
He's blending.
Cool.
I'm blended.
And finally, all the way from California, USA. I'm not sure if he's from there, but I guess he'll tell us in the future. Trevor Hubbard. What's happening, Trevor?
Hola.
Are you
¿Cómo
CEO?
estás?
Are you CEO of Butchershop Company?
Global CEO.
Global
Big time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Global.
Let's get global.
it's
In the
a global
words of
operation.
Ariana Grande, switching our positions.
Switching the positions.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Switching the names.
That's weird that a 41-year-old man said
Yeah.
Ariana Grande quote.
Let's just it's cool though.
It's
You're
cool.
you're hip. You're hip
Okay.
with the kids.
Totally.
What's happening, fellow kids? You know that? Okay. So what happened recently? Right. We used to be just Maniak, and for 10 years we were just Maniak, and big changes happened in our lives, and now we've merged with somebody else, right? So
we got acquired.
How far? At what time was this idea? I don't know, born, floated by anybody, just proposed, pitched in any tiny way? Can anyone tell me? Is it Christian?
We can either tell our story and then maybe we can just kind of match that story.
Yeah,
with
you tell the
Trevor.
story and I'll chime in because I believe that there's a drunk version of it and then there's a sober version of it.
There is
That's
always.
exactly so. Maybe what we can do is we can match each other's stories.
Yeah. Do we have to say our name who's talking so people know?
No, people
no.
know, I think.
People know. Yeah.
They don't
Recognize the perfect
Are
accent.
you sure of my accent?
I'm
isn't
good, yeah.
gonna give
People
me
go,
away?
oh, that's the American.
That's
cool.
the guy.
The other ones are Mexican. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I think, and I remember that story that Trevor says that we were actually in a cantina here in Guadalajara. We were talking about that, and we were a little bit drunk.
Oh.
And I remember that
That's
was the
strange.
time. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, kind of.
4.
4.
4 years.
Yeah.
Had you just
Time
started
flies.
working with Butchershop, or was it already?
No,
well
we-
into
No,
the
actually, we kind of started to work with Butchershop a little bit before that.
Yeah. It was
Sort
an
of.
on and off relationship.
Not a big
Yeah.
time. Not
Testing
a big
the
deal.
waters.
Yeah.
Kissing
Trevor-
but not sleeping together.
Trevor
that kind
had
of thing.
other partners right over there, and then he saw something special. He just kind of flew
Yeah.
into Guadalajara just like to see what was happening.
Yeah.
Like he took like that step, and then suddenly we were talking about
to see if Mexicans were real people.
I mean, it's cool to get like what was going on in our minds. Like I was going through buying 2 partners out that were, one of them was the digital side of our business, and Maniak had come on the radar as a partner, but I never heard about it. And there was this moment where we kept saying no to working with this Mexican company. And it wasn't until we were going through buying them out and they were no longer in the company that Dustin, our former CTO, kind of said, you should take a look at Maniak. I'm like, what the fuck's a Maniak? And then they showed me. They showed me, and we had a couple folks that were sort of the old vanguard at Butchershop that weren't believers. They thought that if we worked with a partner in Mexico in design and digital, that we would be they would be losing their jobs, right? They would not be valuable anymore. Oh. And so there was this big resistance for us to bring in outside support, right? And when I learned about Maniak, Dustin said, I said, oh, that's happening. We have a few people that aren't hip to it. I said, get your passports. We're going down there. We're going to go say hi. We're going to meet. We're going to start with people and culture first, and we're going to actually put faces to names, right? And so that's what we did. And we came down, and we didn't even really talk that much business. It was more about like, let's get to know each other. Let's hang out. Let's make sure we're not too psycho. And then over the last 4 years, right? That's when it just kind of became, let's do more. So
we kind of got wasted that night. I remember that.
Totally.
I don't.
Where did you get wasted?
I'm sorry?
Where was this?
I think it was Reyes Cantina. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so was it a really ugly kind of trunk?
We got
a lot of reggaeton music, and I had my Shazam app out, so I was, every time a song would come on, I'd be Shazam, and then I'd take it back with me and be like, a new song, We
actually took a lot of scorpion shots.
Scorpion shots.
It's the only time that I've seen Carlos dance.
See? See,
I remember.
So I was drunk.
Yeah. You were dancing with Mel, I remember. Yeah. That was good. Yep.
So this was, what was it, 2017 then?
See?
Kind of.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So by that time, what was happening at Maniak? What were we doing back then?
We were actually working for different companies in the U.S.
All right.
Basically, it was like San Francisco.
Okay.
I remember there was a person that was helping us in business development. His name was Wendell. He was like great.
Yeah.
And he kind of introduced to a lot of people that we just started to work with, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we were already understanding how things were in the U.S. So we were getting to that. And then Trevor came and it was like, that's good. But we never talked about
an acquisition or something like that. No, it's...
Yeah, it was kind of an approach and to know each other. And then suddenly Trevor just kind of floated that idea on the air.
What was the form of that idea? Like, oh, we should buy you guys. Or what?
It was a whisper in Christian's ear. One day we will buy you.
It was super joyous. It was like, oh, we should just buy you guys.
And then the hairs on the back of his neck stood up. And then Carlos goes, what did he say? And he's like, and then Christian said, Trevor, say it to Carlos. Carlos, we will buy you.
and then Hector was masturbating himself.
Yeah.
Why?
No.
My show.
We have
pretty little show.
We have to delete that.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. When did he make the reference to masturbation? About 9 minutes in.
No, but I think Christian's right. It was for me. It was always digital was underdeveloped at Butchershop.
Yeah,
and it was always like, I'm not going to go into anything if I don't see future potential. And so after that first meeting, there was always an idea in my mind that there's something cool going on down here.
Yeah,
you guys have a very cool company. You know how to work with talent. You're working with U.S. companies. So it checked all the boxes for one day, maybe being able to say, hey, why don't we do this? And it was early on.
What was happening at Butchershop back then? Like, have you changed a bunch since then? Has the model changed? Have you always been kind of like a brand first kind of thing?
Yeah.
You talk about these people that were not convinced of the move. What was happening back then with them? Still part of the company, not part of the company anymore?
Totally.
Okay.
No, I mean, first question is, I think that Butchershop, we always have a bigger lens of the world as far as what brand is, and we say that brand is everything, and under that is the digitization of brand, and digital experiences and software and stuff. And us being in Silicon Valley, we build shit just as much as anybody else, and I think that was also a really great thing that we saw. You guys had the ambition and the guts to actually attempt to do things that U.S. people or San Francisco people are doing, which is not asking for permission to build cool shit and just doing it. And that's sort of something that's always been at Butchershop. We started this company with $250 in an internet connection, nothing. Right. And we've grown it to be, one of the most respected brand agencies in the world. Yep. With 100+ employees and doing millions and millions of dollars in revenue, all because we want to push the limit and figure out better ways to do shit and show more value, more impact. And we just happen to be born in San Francisco. Yeah. So being able to give access and allow, the Maniak folks to be a part of that, it's not a normal thing. Like for a Mexican company to be playing ball at this caliber in the US is incredible. It's rare, but it needs to happen more. And I think that this is that's why this is a bigger story. It's not just about let's make business happen. It's more of like, what can we do with those opportunities? And I think that's at least where we had common ground in everything.
I wanted to ask you something. At some point, anyone in the company, in Butchershop, or in your close circle, friends, family, said to you, Trevor, this is not a good idea?
Nope. Not one.
Be honest.
Be honest, not one. There was one person that was looking to acquire us that said, don't do that. It'll complicate us potentially buying you. Okay. And that didn't happen. He said
why?
He said because of the internationalization, the way that you would do employees and all that stuff, just wait. Okay. And as soon as somebody tells me to wait, I can't wait. And especially when that didn't happen at the speed I wanted it to, I said, I'm going out. I'm going full stop. Let's go for it, so.
And was it Universal Films that wanted to buy you? Was it Warner Brothers?
No.
Was it Nintendo?
Netflix? I don't know if you heard about Netflix.
Was it Sony?
It might have been.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Those
are great brands. Let's talk more. Tesla, maybe? No, who was it?
Was it Tesla?
Was it Uber?
Was it SpaceX?
I don't know.
Was it the weird little tunnel that this guy from Tesla built that goes under Las Vegas?
The Boring Company?
Yeah. Was it the Boring Company?
It might have been. I can't say.
Was it a Boring Company?
It was definitely not a boring company.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Because we want to keep.
Was it the guy
Heberto, we want to keep doors open, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we have to keep them. It was all of those companies.
Oh God! Oh, that's exciting.
That's good.
Okay, so I want to go back to when, not 4 years ago, but like Hector, what was our work with Butchershop like back then? Like there were clients to us, right? Was it partners?
Yeah, I wouldn't say clients. I would say more like a partner, and we always strive to create that relationship in business and also in person. And we did a lot of things from marketing sites, WordPress sites, to big projects like Nike, career side. So I think it was a big spectrum, and we enjoy working together, like going to San Francisco, going to Europe, traveling together, getting drunk together, and just spitting ideas and trying to make them come to fruition. And also one important thing is that we failed a lot together. We produced projects like the Nike, for example, that it was a success to the outside world, but internally it was a project that caused us a lot of friction, problems, and we had to solve through that. So I think over the course of 4 years, our relationship grew because we failed and we're able to look us in the face and say, okay, this didn't work, we didn't like this, and we should move on and try to learn from it and be better.
I like that you said, like, I looked at it as the losses that we took as investments. Mm-hmm. We lost about $500,000 on Nike. Yeah. But we looked at it as investing for something that's going to bring us the next opportunity, right? So all of those things that we did where you guys bent over to make it happen, or we, paid more to get something done, it was always about this idea of like, no. The common goal is to look at anything we're doing as we're investing in something, even though we didn't know exactly what that was. Yep. And I think that was cool.
Yeah, but the good thing about this is that both of the companies were looking that as an investment and not as they're playing with us, right? Or we're not getting to a good spot. Everyone was just kind of learning through the process, which like make us bonding a lot better, right? Yeah,
for us, especially for Maniak, it was complicated because not everyone has access to knowing Butchershop CEO or Catherine, that is global head of operations. And having those relationships helps you understand where something is not going right and you need to just go through it. And internally, we have to have a lot of conversations to say, okay, this is not a client. This is not something that if it goes wrong, we're not going to leave it there. This is a commitment that we have on a long run.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen with all the projects that you do. I mean, there are projects that you finish, and regardless of where it is, you just move on. And in this relationship, it was something that we valued a lot.
Chemistry.
It's interesting
Yeah.
because it's like you were dating and then you got married.
No.
You don't want to put it that way.
Well,
It's
I
like,
mean, it's a good analogy.
you're talking
but
about commitment and
Yeah.
about
I mean,
partners.
that's how we are with our
like,
client partners too. We
Yeah.
want to look
Yeah.
at it more like a marriage, because if it's not,
Okay.
you know, I mean, you try to use a metaphor. I actually think when we were talking, Maniak, because of the position, socioeconomic sort of situation in Mexico, there's always going to be this notion that I wanted to change, which is that it's a value-based play to work with Maniak. And I wanted to shift that to a premium play, because the talent's so good, the work's so good, the people are so good, but to be put in the value bucket means something where you're never being given an opportunity to really put value on the thinking. You're just trading dollars for hours.
Right.
And so what I approached the guys with is I said, my whole goal is to take you from a value-based option to a premium,
Right.
and that only happens if the business is coming from the US right now.
Yep.
You know, and once we latched onto that, I think conceptually we knew that we had to sort of look a certain way. We needed to answer questions a certain way. We need to start thinking about the future a certain way. And it was a framing sort of filter so that we could quickly say, we don't want to do this, we want to do this, or we don't want to do more of this, we want to do more of this.
Okay.
And it changes how we're going to go to the market, because what we can do is really use the US value structure of how they look at things, but then change the economics of how we do business to be a more profitable company, right?
Right.
Because that is a reality. Yet, since we're an American company, we increase salaries, we increase all kinds of things for employees, we're able to hire more, we have bigger resources, we can make moonshot investments, we can
Yeah.
start a venture company that we're doing. We can do all these things because we're partners. And that's cool, you know?
It is cool. It is really cool. I think the word is cool. I would like to talk a bit more about what's the difficulty of getting that to happen. Maybe Carlos, you can tell us more about that. Like, what is it like when this is talked about and people say, okay, we're gonna merge, we're gonna acquire, make this premium. What needs to happen in the cold, sad law? You know what I mean? In the down in the law, man.
We invest a lot of time on these chats, right? Have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that we can solve that barriers. That there were some points that we told this is not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But then together, including Trevor, Hector, Christian, and I, make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we all want to do it, but in the way you found some things that you have to fix.
Obviously.
But
Yeah.
it is a fun process, right?
I don't know.
At the end of it,
At the end of it, I mean,
Yeah.
you learn about it.
you know,
Yeah.
You know how
yeah.
to. We never do this before,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's good.
Now you can sell
learn
companies to anybody, right?
You know why I think it worked is I think the theme was clear the entire time, so it made it seem like a negotiation of give and take, because the guys were very clear that they wanted it to be an upgrade
Right.
for them and their people.
Right.
They wanted to maintain the culture, right?
Yeah.
And it was about losing control and figuring out common
Yeah.
ground where that wasn't the issue. It was
Yeah.
more of the opportunity. So we all had to give up some things and then gain some things. But I think what was cool is that even in the darkest moment where there was 3 different occasions where the deal was
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
like not happening.
Off.
Yeah, like lots of
What
times.
was the most recent one?
Probably a month
last
before we
one, right?
closed
Yeah.
the last
that
one.
was the last one, and
And-
I'm going to tell you like
Yeah, yeah.
something pretty funny. That was the story. So, there was an issue that I cannot
Right.
tell. Right?
Okay.
There was an issue, and then suddenly Trevor and I just got through a call. It was like, if you don't do this, not in a bad way, but if this is not like
Done.
done, this is not gonna happen. And it was like, well, that's it. right? I think that's done.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was like 1 month before everything happened, and then I just came to the guys, Hector and Charlie, and that was like talking about, and then we came back, and actually the three of us, we said, if this is not done, like on the other side, right, then we're just gonna say no, and then that's okay,
Yeah.
right?
Was it a tough negotiation? Like,
It's not tough. It's not
Yeah.
tough. It's very hard when you're talking about like not different interests, but like
Philosophies.
yeah.
Different ways of looking at things.
different ways of looking at things, and then also I think that's a culture thing, right?
Mm.
So we came back into the call, and it was like pretty funny, and they were like, if we say no, then that's it. If Trevor says no, that's it, and then we're out, right? But this was like the fourth or fifth time that we already said no to something, right?
Yeah.
And something that I really admire was like Trevor willing to do this, and that actually got us thinking, like, why does he want to do this like this hard? I mean, why is he so obsessed with us? Exactly. I was like, does he want to fuck with us? Like, what's his problem with us? Is like, is it something bad?
What do you want?
Yeah.
Well,
and then,
but the guys don't know that I knew what they wanted to do, and I had my ceilings already in place 6 months ago of where we could. No, I'm kidding.
So we came into the call, and it was like we were talking like in the in Telegram.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, please download Telegram, everyone that's here in this podcast. But we were in Telegram. It was like we were in the meeting with Trevor, and we said if he says no, then we're out. And suddenly, like, very simple, he's just like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine. And we're like, now what? We're like, fuck. I mean, now we need to sell. We just gotta promise this. I'm like, just go, go ahead.
I was
like,
and then we have lawyers.
Of course.
And then
we
have to work with that.
Lawyers get in the way.
I want to tell my story because
they do a good job.
I hate lawyers.
You hate lawyers.
I do not respect them in the slightest way. I think they are unnecessary to our world. But anyway, we had to go through it. I didn't enjoy the process at all.
Me neither.
It was stressful because I'm a person that wants to please everyone and wants to make sure that everyone is happy. And I had 2 dualities or 3 or 4 dualities that I needed to make sure that we were all in the same place. So for me, it was emotionally draining, and I'm so glad that it's over, and my mood has been in a great place the last couple of weeks that we've been over it. But what I do want to say is, like, I do greatly respect all the people that were involved in it, because even though the terms were tricky and the interests were sometimes to one side or to another, everyone treat each other always with respect and convey themselves in a very professional way. So if you know, moods were a little more complicated, I think we could have ended up fighting and destroying a lot of relationships that were there. So I didn't enjoy it. Now that we've done it, I think if we do it again, I'm hoping Trevor, Christian, and Carlos are the ones leading that effort, and they leave me out of it.
Well, look, I think the good thing is that I love it. Like, flat out, I love it. Well, because
did you love the process?
I do. You know why? Because
how do you
I
done
enjoy
one of
the
these
process.
before?
I enjoy the
also,
process because I one, I learned a lot. 2, it's the way that we actually created a stronger relationship, right? Because you have to talk about the future and all the hard things that may happen, right? You get to express yourself in different ways, so you learn what inspires, what triggers, what is not good for certain personalities and behaviors. In the process of doing this, we are forced to plan the future and think about what we want to be. Business and brand and creativity are so connected to me, where I see us doing this more in the future. If we're going to be the best of breed global brand experience agency in multiple countries like we are doing, this is going to become the advantage. Is like our ability to do moonshot sort of things like this and acquisitions, because we can build as much as we want, but there's also so much great opportunity out there. And I think we're all opening our eyes up to that future and realizing that we have to create a culture sort of the world now. It's not just like it's Mexico, it's San Francisco, it's Chicago, it's New York, it's Graz, Austria. Like the fact that we're decentralized and we're even designing our company to be different. We're even designing it in a way where we actually are doing a summit, right, guys, together in Puerto Vallarta. 90 people coming to Puerto Vallarta coming out of the pandemic because we want to get together and share that experience. If we didn't have a redesigned company, we'd be like sending people back and forth to offices, and it'd be kind of like a slow roll. But because it'd be boring. So we have to look at how this all influenced how we do things differently. And for that shit, that's why I love these types of things. It's hard, but fuck, this is a hard business. Like, it's not easy, you know?
Besides, this is the first one for us, at least. But it's not going to be the only one, so...
Yep.
Okay, you're going to buy everybody out now.
No, we want to do, because we have the incubator that we are working with.
Okay.
So this helps a lot. Doing this process helps us a
you
lot.
see the dynamics of what goes into it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you understand what the other side is gonna be expecting. You know it's gonna be emotional for the people that you are buying. So you understand that. I think definitely gives you an advantage. It's just not enjoyable for me. That's it.
Yeah. well, Hector also had to play interference with Christian and Carlos and the Butchershop team. He's the one that's operating.
Yeah, he was at the center of the thing.
But it was also, we was the center of the Maniak side. And
Yeah.
what we did is we creatively started Imagine Buy, which is our venture company, as a joint venture. And that was a way for Christian and Carlos to really sink their teeth into us putting investment dollars into building an incubator.
Mm-hmm.
And that's new. That's something we've both done separately, but coming together, it was a way for us to... Hector was in an interesting place because he wanted to see the Maniak side do well. Of course. And these guys wanted to figure out what the hell Imagine Buy was going to be. Mm-hmm. And there was this kind of thing where he was in the middle a lot, right? Mm-hmm. I think. That's how I look at it. Yeah. You know, where we were talking back and forth of like, how do we organize this? How do we move forward, right? Of course. Yeah. But shit, guys, I would say that we had 300, 400 conversations in 6 months.
Yeah. At least. Yeah.
At least. I mean, how many times a week is this? Is this a daily thing?
5, 6 times a week.
Yeah. Kind of. And with different people, different lawyers, and
but him Christian and I, probably him and I talked 30, 40 times. You and I talked 50, 60 times. Yeah. You and I talked probably 30 times. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was all around little, like, let's talk about this detail. Stuff. Yeah.
Had you done it before?
Yeah. I bought my former partners out. Had to use, do that.
But that was a different one, right? Because you have like more different interests. And I don't know.
At the same time, we just didn't have, anything that we have in place that says, what if somebody wants to leave?
Yeah.
Like when you don't have that, then anybody can say whatever the fuck they want. They make the rules up. That's challenging. So it was a different challenge. But us being in Silicon Valley, our entire business is around helping companies get bought, sold, raise money. Okay. Right. So it's like, I'm not an expert, but I know enough to feel comfortable in these situations. But again, I'll give a shout out to, Arturo and Luis and Alex and Melina and Rick and Carlos and the 2Bits team and everybody, because there was a lot.
A lot of people.
That's a bunch of moving parts.
Yep.
Had you guys done anything like this? Because you also founded a bunch of companies and then but nothing close to this.
We were offered to get to be part of other companies before, but we never went through the process.
Okay.
The process is very different than people think, and I think that's a learning for everyone. And you need to be willing to be examined.
Yeah, it's like
everything.
It's like if someone says get naked.
Yeah.
And
then they're just gonna check everything.
Yeah.
No. It's okay.
Of course. In front of everyone else. And Trevor's gonna say
I'm gonna bring 15 people here. Like they're gonna be lawyers. And
it's kind of weird. What do you think about his belly button? And then you're standing in the middle of the room and you're like,
that's why we have accountants and lawyers because they can make you do the strip tease or strip show, and I can be the emotional one that allows like the humanity to come back into a deal process. But it's part art, part science.
I guess so.
If anybody's going into this, you guys wanted it to be about the art. To do a business deal, you need it to be more about the science, right? And so when you do a deal, there's a give and take. There's the potential that the former founders, everybody knows they have, and they want to be valued on that.
Of course.
Then there's the business tactics where there's a formula that says, no, but your company's only doing this. And so you have to figure out that art and science like that's the balance, right? And so based on how much the soft skills, the soft tactics, the personalities, the team dynamic, the vision, the things that are happening, those things can actually not have monetary value, but you have to put value on it, right?
Of course.
And that is why these deals are hard.
Because a bunch
art
of the
and
things
science.
are not monetary valuable.
Correct.
Yeah,
But then it comes.
But then the bean counters come in and they tell you that no, you're overpaying. And I'm like,
why did you say beans?
What?
What did you say?
It's
beans?
an expression in
Did
the
you say
United States.
beans?
You beaner.
Oh man, that's okay. We're gonna end the show now. sorry.
Heberto, I wanted to ask you, how
yeah.
do you, because you're part of Maniak,
Yeah.
right? How do you lift it? Like, how you went through it? What was the emotionality of
the host gets involved now.
I guess the thing is you were stressed out all the time, which was kind of the thing. And since I'm also not only a Maniak, but also like running the other company, the podcast company, this one, it was kind of I had to gauge when you guys were kind of stressed out because you were going through a merger with an American company. And also, like, I think all of us working closely with all of you guys had to like wait it out, you know, go like, okay, they know they'll figure it out, they'll keep everyone's interest into account, it doesn't matter, no one's getting fired,
trust.
Because immediately, I mean, your mind goes to, oh my god, who's getting fired? I think the first 2 town halls we had about it was it, are we getting fired? No. Is the design team getting fired? No, especially no. But no, nobody's getting fired. No, so especially so it was I think it wasn't tough. It was just it was kind of
unknown. Yeah,
it was unknown because you're below the boat and the captain is upstairs and there's a storm and you don't know
yelling, right?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I don't want anyone to be fired, you know what I mean?
Alberto, on a scale of 1 to 10, now that it's done, how do you think the process was managed to like bring people in and on a scale, like was it done culturally in the right way? Was it good or not so good?
I think it's okay.
So sad, man.
You have to tell us a number.
I know,
from 1 to 10.
Can you rephrase the question because I don't
From 1 to
want
10.
Yeah. Are a lot of the unknowns that you had, are things slowly starting to become known and clear and it's not as scary?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anything, and I hope so, I don't think anything significant actually changed. I think all the things that changed were positive. So I'm still like, Hector will not let me lie, I'm a bit of a pessimist. So I go like, are you really good? You know, I'm like, is this okay? But when are you gonna fuck us? Like, just I keep asking. Okay, this is good. This is also good. This is also very good. This is for free. Okay, so where is the
tricky thing?
Yeah. Like, if I don't do this, I'm fired.
If this was an acquisition, you get, first of all, there's no other assets than the people. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we fuck with the people and we don't do this right, because this acquisition was about the people.
Yeah.
It was about your guys' ability to keep a tight-knit team together to do the best work and to grow that team. So I think we should have just started there as the statement to everybody, right? Because then it would have been,
a lot easier.
Easier.
Can you give me? We're about done with the show, so can we just have a few conclusions of how it went and how you feel right now, starting with Christian and going all the way clockwise. So Christian, how did you feel? How do you feel now?
So I didn't like the process, as I said. I am empathic with Hector. I think now, like at the beginning, as we just kind of closed the deal, I felt pretty bad.
Okay.
Even when people says that you should pat yourself in the back, I was like, "Fuck, what did I do?" Right?
I sold my kid.
I saw like a lot of bad stuff, right? But not because they were bad. Because of my insecurities. So next, I just kind of like said, I need to work in me a lot to be better at. And to be at the circumstances that this is asking me to be.
Yeah.
So I'm good now. And I'm trying to work with and go forward.
Carlos, you're still kind of on the shit, aren't you? Like
I'm still working on these things, but I think these are like I enjoy the process, but it's like difficult.
Yeah, it's running a
Because
marathon.
there are a lot of things that you don't know,
Yeah.
and as part of how am I, is that I try to research a lot,
Yeah.
talking to other people who knows, blah blah blah. So I enjoy it, and I learn a lot of it, but it's like it's stressing,
Yeah.
you know, because you're putting on the table all your effort, all that we built in 10 years, and that's the art, the personal part, because that's something that you don't give a number, you know,
Of course.
Yeah.
that you don't have a value for that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty good right now. I mean,
Pretty good right now. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Trevor.
I think the energy focus goes where energy flows is what my friend Kelly always says. And when you do a deal like this, there's this moment where you're done with it and you think like you can take a breath. And what you have to realize is that staying curious and participating and putting in effort happens more so when the deal is signed. That's just a formality. And I think we're all realizing that this only gets good if we can be great individually and we put our effort and time into it. For me, I take my responsibility now, being ultimately responsible for everything we're trying to do, you know, it's very seriously, right? It's new pressure for me. And I kind of need a foot on my neck to be good, you know, sometimes. Because if it gets easy, you kind of take your foot off the gas. And so, you know, working with Carlos and Christian on this new venture, I think it's a new energy for me because there's a foot on my neck to help these guys and us and them help me and all of us make that thing something that almost is more valuable than what we're creating on the other side of the business.
Right.
You know? And so it's refreshing because we know we have to commit and we have to do the work. And part of it is what was the quote? Success is measured in jumping from uncomfortable situation to uncomfortable situation with delight and grace, right?
Yeah.
And if you can do that, you're going to be pretty successful. It's when those things push you away or you get thrown off or you get discouraged or you walk away from it or that's when things start to fall apart, right?
Yeah.
But these guys are fucking great. It's an amazing company. Every single person here is weird and cool and different and, you know, plays ball and is unique and, you know, everyone speaks their mind and we need more of that. So it's the best.
Hector, you have to match that quote. Like, your quote has to be
I
just
don't
as
have
good.
a fucking quote, dude, but I'll invent one right now. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone here. Not to you, Heberto, the rest of them.
I'm good.
Because it was a stressful process, and even though I didn't enjoy it, I'm grateful that we all stick together and made it work. And now I'm starting to see the potential. I mean, we saw it beforehand, but once we were in the middle of it, it kind of got lost in my head, and I'm pretty happy. I think that we all got pretty comfortable with our roles in our in the companies over the years because we were so good at it that it didn't require a lot of effort from our side. But now that this thing is together, we need to get on our A game again, and that's something that I'm starting to enjoy. Trying to work on our English, trying to work on our selling skills, on our ability to adapt to different markets, and that is something that it's of great interest to me personally. And the last thing that I want to say is like the most important thing is the people that work with us, the 100+ people that are part of this organization. For me, I think they will be part of something that hasn't been seen in a lot of years, and probably never. They'll be part of an organization that the first priority of the organization is the people and their well-being of them, their families, and everyone around them. And also an important part is that they will feel always challenged and rewarded with the work that we do. So being able to offer that to, even though it's, I don't know, 100 of 150 million in Mexico or 100 of 300 million in the US, it's something that I think I can die in peace by saying that we work at a company and create a company that values people for what they are and for what they do. And for that, I'm grateful.
Yeah. Thank you very much, the three of you. That was
Thank you.
Podcastination in English.
Yes.
You can all go back to work now.
You have a lot of things to do.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later. I'll record another intro or outro. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Thanks.
The podcast.